Hello guys. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna get started with this match between Trinhuv versus Wahoo. If there's any issues with the sound, please do let me know. If you guys cannot hear me, or if the game volume is too high, I can always turn those down. Alright, so it looks like we have both players banning Landius here. Wahoo here is using the Wizard, so it's more of a mythic box. Still running Yulia here, and there are quite a number of good single target units here. Like Claret is still in here, Triskit can still do single target damage. Yulia can probably kill Juggler. On Trinhuv's side, it's more legend units with Mystery Knight, Angelina, Arette. So Trinhuv is running 3 healers, standard Liana, Iris, and Weiler. Over on Wahoo's side, he is also running the same 3 healers. Alright, so Trinhuv starting off with a Zarda second pick. Zarda can bring faction buff for Juggler, making Juggler extremely difficult to kill. Alright, I can turn down the game volume. How's this? Is that better? I know it's quite loud here. Can you guys still hear me quite fine? Or should I turn this down, or should I lower my own volume here? Okay. I can do something about that. How's this? Alright, so we have a Deedlit second from Wahoo's side. Yeah, Deedlit is quite good with Dog as well. You always have that Gospel ready. Now you don't really have to be as afraid of stuff like the Stell anymore. When you do have a delay, you don't really need to ban the Hie either, just because the Hie cannot use his heal reversal skill, and your Juggler is immune to it. So Wahoo's Yulia gets banned out. Having that Deedlit second means there's an easy access to Gospel effect. I want to deal with it. so it looks like Wahoo is going to pick up a healer, Iris, after getting the Fjarlar band. Having a dedicated healer is always good. Now Iris can always bring shield for the juggler in case the gospel from Fjarlar does not go onto the juggler. Fjarlar want to use the gospel for an attack buff instead or something. So far, I'm not really liking Wahoo's bans here. Letting Trinhuv have Fjarlar when he have so many single target units is not really looking so good here. Alright, not going to do a lot against a Fjarlar 3C. We're kind of forced to wait 3 turns after Fjarlar casts his 3C. And in those turns, you're just going to be run over. Alright, so Wahoo does get the Luna here, which is going to Genesis faction buff for pretty much everyone except the Juggler, and then Iris can just bring a shield. Or you can also bring the Mass Resist here against Bozo Sleep. Then just rely on the Gospel to Juggler, prevent the anti-heal here. Yep, Wahoo does realize this. So he's going to take Mass Heal instead of either Shield or Mass Resist here. I think having the Mass Heal is pretty good here as well. In case you want to heal back up from Bozo AoEs, you can use that to dispel. Juggler for some reason does more damage than your healer can heal back up. Mass Heal can heal back our team. Although I think I would have preferred really Mass Resist for the team. On Trinhuv's side though, I think Trinhuv is definitely going to be more favored this team comp. Unless the Juggler gets one shot by that Claret. You have the Fjarlar 3C to make all the things happen those 3 turns. Ooh. You have the Juggler Trinhuv's side bringing Lancer Troops, Stone Colossus. Anticipating the Heaven's Guard. Now the Claret is really going to be useless here. Oh. Wahoo's Steeless should be able to do decent damage. Just having type advantage over the Stone Colossus. So if Steeless uses a range attack here, could do decent, very decent damage. Okay, so Wahoo here, this game plan is probably just move forward, try to get Trinhuv to use his Fjarlar 3C, and sort of stall for those 3 turns. Didn't really make anything happen until the Wailer 3C is spelled there. Could try to lock down the juggler, but depending on who jumps first, the one jumping first is going to be at a disadvantage. As the second juggler is always able to jump out of the first juggler's speed shock. Since Trinhuv does have the Wailer, if that Wailer uses tactical retreat, then wahoo's juggler cannot really lock down that other juggler. So most likely, Wahoo will have to figure out a way to kill that juggler first before his team can really do much here. Does it sound different? Is it good? I like this new mic since I do have a mic stand with this. I don't have to hold it all the time anymore. Ah, alright. Wahoo might be thinking about using some of his big cooldowns here, just to bait out the Wailer 3C and then not actually engage. I think that would be a decent play, but the juggler having the Stone Colossus troops isn't really going to be that afraid. This Claret here. Alright, that's another turn where the Wailer does not use this 3C here. This is exactly what Trinhuv wants here, since his units all need 2 turns to set up. Zerda needs to use the Al-Zard. At least I think it's on Al-Zard. Now use case transformed. He really wants to engage here, so we should see the Wailer 3C and the push forward coming out soon. Alright, now Trinhuv is just getting ready here, so he's like about to be fully buffed here, but Wahoo is pushing forward now, so this is not really a good time. This could just be a bait here, trying to make Trinhuv use Wailer 3C, but when they do engage, Trinhuv is going to have much of a better chance of winning the fights here. Well, the Zerda is not actually on Al-Zard. It's on Killing Blow and Backstab, so the Zerda cannot ignore guard. That's probably a mistake. Was thinking about it, teleporting Claret, although I don't think that's really going to do anything. If Claret attacks into that juggler first, what's going to happen is the Heaven's Guard is going to ram into the Lancer troops first, dealing no damage, killing themselves, and then Claret and at most kill off the troops. I don't think it's gonna do anything here. Trinhuv is a known whale of some sorts. I expect good Lancer training from him. Okay, we might see a range attack from D-Lit here. It's not really going to do much unless it one-shots the juggler though, because the Wily can always use 3C and then you can't make any attack for the next 3 turns. There isn't any anti-heal unless Luna procs Curse Lance. Don't have any ways of heal reversaling. So, not looking good here. Alright, it's going to try for it, and it kills the Stone Colossus. Congratulations. Alright, so the second attack, you have to kill a juggler that have just barely enough Stone Colossus left, which means he's going to have, I believe, 30% damage taken reduction from his talent. So yep, he's not going to try it at the second time, and the Claret is just going to get out. And by get out, I mean not actually move that far back, because Claret actually took a detour, like going farther than she needed to be. Claret could have just charged forward, attacked the Bullseye, and ran back. But going all the way to the side, attacking Zerda, means she used up more of her movement and was unable to get back. So the Zerda without a guard ignore skill gets the first blood of the game, taking out Claret here. Alright, so Wahoo here. Best play is just to charge forward with the D-Lit and take out that juggler before the Wyler uses 3C. I think the game is quite over here already anyways. Wahoo will have to spend a lot more resources taking out all the units on Trinhuv side. Now the Luna is unable to take out the Zerda here. If she had if she had Ragnarok just to break the Zerda's last rites, maybe had a chance. So Trinhuv just needs to use Wyler 3C. He might be thinking about using the tactical retreat here on Zerda, but I wouldn't do that much here. Either just use the 3C. That gives all his units basically immunity to all damage. Alright, so he is going to instead use retreat, wanting to save the Zerda. Now D-Lit is going to be able to go in there and ram into somebody. Dying in the process, but what can you do? Diglett does not go into the danger zone, she will not be able to act again. So this is just going to heal back the Luna. Seems like a waste. So out of all that, we're down a claret now. And wahoo was not favored to begin with. Now Fjarlar still have not used his 3C. Once he does, now in that 3 turns, the game can just be decided then. Alright, still not using 3C. He might be thinking that if Fjarlar uses 3C, that wahoo's juggler is just going to be able to jump in, do some AoE damage, killing the Zerda and the Fjarlar off that way. That's probably what he's thinking about. So it's playing it more safe here. He's up 1 unit now. Doesn't need to make the flashy plays. Doesn't need to engage just quite yet. The juggler that jumps in first usually loses. Might see that happening here. So yeah, the juggler jumping in here makes the mass heal from Fjarlar very good. So, depending on which unit is covering this specific square in front of Diglett here, Trinhuv could actually just move like the Zerda, which is probably making that piece of the danger zone in front of the water tiles. If he does that, the Diglett cannot actually go in, because there wouldn't be any more danger zone for her to step into. Right, so she have this one tile where she can get into the danger zone and act again. And this should be able to just delete Juggler here, since Juggler is actually guarding everyone after using 3C. That damage really sucked, huh? I was expecting more damage. But I guess it's because the melee attack, the unicorns didn't do anything to the stone colossus, maybe? That could be one reason. Diglett also lost most of her damage up effects as well, not having Sea of Miracles during the attack. Juggler does get a whole bunch of damage reduction depending on how low the troop's health is. Can't tell if the Bozo brought sleep or not. Dealet did reapply Gospel here. So, Juggler cannot be slept. Bozo you slept first before the Dealet moved in. Could have been something if he moved the Zarda away, so the Dealet did not have danger zone to move in. That could have been another play. So Yusuke punching in and deletes the juggler here. Oh, 90%. Very good damage. I don't believe the Yusuke had any sort of attack buffs other than from Transform and his Mirror's Hammer. I do wish someone could turn on battle animations just so we can see the Stone Colossus in action. Nope, if you want to kill the juggler, better to attack into a guarded unit. But most of these tiles are snow tiles rather than grasslands. Well, Zarda is looking pretty good here. She does have the skill available again, although she does not have hide and seek. Could still probably take out the Luna here. First, we should see a sleep onto that Dealet, or just a punch from somewhere out the Dealet. Could also see a Wailer 3C finally. Okay, going for a black hole here, so I'm not sure if Bozo will have sleep here. Yep, I'm also casting Fjarlar versus Triskit. And they should be starting at, well, in 27 minutes. But they did request to have the match played after these guys finish their match. Alright, so Dealet here, attack down. Not confident enough that Dealet could do much. Going for a Mastio first. I think the Yusuke can just punch the Dealet down. That should absolutely be dead. Yusuke is at full health, using Zealots, going for the ranged attack, and takes out Dealet. So in the end, Fjarlar never did use his 3C, so we can say the Stone Colossus won Trinhuv the game. Then again, Claret did attack in a way that she couldn't fly back. So misplace from Wahoo. Alright, game 2 now. Round 1, you can always just go 2-0. Will be difficult though. So, Trinhuv here puts in the Illustrial. I didn't catch what was taken out here. Trinhuv's Mercenary is most likely the Bozo since it was Demon. And Wahoo's mercenary is most likely the Rachel then. Alright, so Wahoo going with Deedlit again. And he gets the Zarda Rastel band out. Bands out Ares and Illustrial. So again, Trinhuv have the option of picking up Zarda here. 3 faction buff for Juggler is always good. Now all you have to do is ban out all the units. The Zarda cannot assassinate. Like Yulia. Fjarlar is also a pretty good ban. Fjarlar does stop all the backstabs. And we do see the expected pick of Zarda here. Alright, so the Cleric gets banned, and the Hie gets banned. Both of which I think are pretty good, considering how you just lost the Weiler. Now the Weiler could have stopped the backstabs from here, and could have also stopped the double attack from Claret, killing the Juggler here. Now what Wahoo does not have is a good way of stopping magic damage, like Trinhuv picks up Deedlit here, or Mystery Knight. The way to deal with that is either having Magic Guard, or you having to burst, or taking them out with your own Deedlit. So this time Wahoo goes for the Yusuke and then loses out all the dedicated healers. Yusuke can be good if you take out all the Gospels and shields. But unless you can one-shot that Juggler, this Gospel can just stop the Yusuke here. Once Trinhuv pick up any healer, that Juggler is going to be very difficult to take down from this Yusuke.
Cleric might be a better pick. Because you definitely need a Cleric to counter that Zarda.
I think Claret can be good here. But just having a Claret that doesn't do much attacking. Wahoo can pick up the Claret if he bans out this Weiler here. We'll see if he does that. Ends up going with this Rachel. Alright, so the mercenary Rachel, I believe she was like missing 3C or something? Yeah, this Rachel does not have 3C here. Well, it's not like it's really needed here. She just here for the gospel. Yes. None of these units can really deal with that Zerda. Might be thinking about using these Gizerov constructs to block off Zerda attack routes. So after picking bans, I don't really see a way for Wahoo to win this game either. There isn't any heal reversals. Heal blocks can just get prevented by all these gospels. There isn't any way to ignore guard here either. The Diglett could get an attack in before the juggler uses 3C here. Or maybe that's what he needs to do before the opponent's juggler uses 3C. Before he puts up magic guard and makes something happen with your own Diglett. There are a lot of healing and dispels on Trinhuv's side. So, like Rachel, not gonna do that much damage. Gizerov, I think is going to be rendered kind of useless here. It's just going to be a faction buff for the juggler and for Yusuke. Now Yusuke not bringing faction buff means the Diglett will need a gospel for herself. Okay there. Just first move, gets +3 mobility on that Zerda. Seems good. Now to make use of that breeze, you will have to use Alhazard here first. You stacked again, give her Gospel, then she can make an attack here. Doing so means she will not be able to get back. Otherwise, that +3 mobility is not going to get through the guard. So Trinhuv should be thinking about his options here, whether he wants to use Alhazard or just use faction buff. So he goes with the Gospel on the juggler. Sort of early. I don't really see the need for it. Yusuke have not transformed yet. It's only a 2-turn Gospel here. again, I don't really see a way for Wahoo to play out this match here. How can he kill this juggler? Or how can he kill really anything? He would have to wait for Trinhuv to jump in first with his juggler, but the Wailer can always use tactical retreat. If Wahoo jumps in, the juggler on Trinhuv's side can just jump out or use tactical retreat. There are just so many more options on Trinhuv's side. Zarda does go for the faction buff. Alhazard next turn. Now he really have to be careful with where he places this Zarda, because there's no magic guard on the juggler, no passive magic guard anyways. So even the construct from Gizerov would probably threaten to kill this Zarda here. So this is kind of strange. Wahoo using the gospel on her own Rachel. Oh. I was gonna say, since Yusuke didn't transform turn 1, he probably understands that he's not going to be in range to do anything with these units. So there's really no reason to use this Rachel Gospel here. At least not this early. Now the Juggler outside does get +3 mobility. I don't think he's going to do much with it though, at least not for this turn. Alhazard still needs to be used before he can do much. Let the Liana act again, something could happen this turn. We'll just have to see what Wahoo decides to go with here. If he pushes forward, he's going to be walking right into the opponent's juggler with +3 mobility. If he waits this out, which he can certainly do, and choose to decide to engage later on. At some point though, Wahoo needs to get Trinhuv to use that Wailer 3C. I don't really like this map. Just because of all the water in the middle and then all these wall tiles on the side. Having non-unicorn units and non-flying units makes it extremely difficult to get any sort of melee units into opponent side through this water. The better position to engage would be either at the top or at the bottom of this long strip. Alright, so the Zarda does use Hazard here. Now the user of summon is able to just ignore guard, not like she's in guard range anyways.
So he should summon a construct and kill that construct, so his Yusuke will be able to counterattack 2 blocks, which means even if after the Wailers again, Yusuke will be able to kill. Oh no, not summoning here. Supposed to summon and whatever. Maybe he just doesn't. Maybe he just doesn't care if Yusuke is dead. But if you lose your construct, if you lose your summon unit, if you lose your summoned unit, your Yusuke will be able to counter kill Zerida.
Alright, so these are all does summon, but
Okay, now
decides not
Yusuke's
to
back.
attack into the Zerida.
まったくもうちょっとしっかりしてよ。みんなの足手まといにはならないわ。
Somebody is going to die here. Wahoo can't really save anyone here. We should just move probably the Rachel forward. Alright, here's the assassination. 15-29 attack. Onto that Yusuke.
Yeah, the game's pretty much over. The only way to save Yusuke, well, Yusuke might still dead, but Zerida is going to get self-explode if Yusuke can counterattack 2 blocks.
Alright, if this dealer makes any sort of attack before moving the juggler to Magic Guard, you could lose the dealer to the opponent's dealer as well. However, he chooses not to use this sort of attack. The opponent's juggler gets to jump in and save guard for Zerida. So neither option seems good. Be strong, it's good enough. Yeah, there's many things Wahoo could have done here to save the Yusuke. So let's just say another misplay here. Again, Yusuke not going to be able to do that much. Oh, this is a very aggressive jump in. Okay, Violet have one spot where she can use the Sea of Miracles before attacking. Yeah, Trinhuv could have also done this sort of play differently as well, like using Twilight Lacey first, or possibly moving the Delit first, because after jumping in, he's going to put everyone into water and also lock down 2 of the units in the front here, which means he's not going to have that much danger zone to work with his own Delit. So this is a strange attack onto the Liana, range attack. Not on grasslands, on the wall tile. And just kills the Shrine Maidens from Liana. Alright, 2 actions left here. Either use Wahoo 3C or not use it, and just attack with Heal It.
あなたのことよ。
So this might be a melee attack onto the Dealet on grasslands. Other options, just attacking into the juggler. Alright, so here is the attack on Dealet. Actually using Elven Aura here. Fjarlar, I don't really see any reason to do anything with him. Probably not even going to use 3C, although he could. Alright, so the Lovell does use 3C. This is fine as well, since the opponent's juggler is currently fixed in place and can't really do much.
準備はできてるわ。
Fjarlar is also way too far away to finish off the Wahoo here. Okay, jumping the juggler, I'm guessing onto the wall tile, which he does. So this locks down the Dealet. Dealet can always make an attack, but she's not going to have that free int and defense anymore. Yep, well, this game is looking pretty over here. Fjarlar can't really do much. Both Liana and the Dealet have Wahoo 3C, so Wahoo cannot actually attack into either of them. This is only going to heal the Liana up, so Trinhuv should thank his opponent for making this sort of action. Regroup. Quite unnecessary. Could have just healed yourself. Yep, game is quite finished there. So, Trinhuv wins 2-0. Alright. So, next up we have Fjarlar versus Triskit. We'll see if both of them are ready. So they have rolled. We'll see if one of them can stream the match in Discord and cast. Okay, let's see here. How's the game sound on this? It's pretty quiet, huh? Compared to wahoo's game just now. Alright, we're gonna get started with this game in Triskit and Fjarlar Lovell. I'll try to turn this up, but the original game sound from Triskit's stream is quite low to begin with. So probably can't do much about that. That's alright. Let's see what's happening here. We have a Landius first ban, a Juggler first ban, so Fjarlar is looking to play a bunch of AoE units, having Lambda, Almeda, Ares can AoE. Triskit here is going to go for the Kill Juggler plan, having Claret. It's also the Omega here. Now Triskit does have a very strong Omega of her own. This could be the Mercenary. Yeah, I don't really see any other units that can be the Mercenary. So on Fjarlar's side, I'm going to assume the Bozo is going to be that mercenary unit. Bozo is a very strong unit to go with these AoE game plans though. So we might see the Bozo ban. And immediately we have the Ares banned out and the D-Heart. So D-Heart can faction buff for Juggler. Ares is a very strong AoE unit. Overall, it's okay bans. I'm wondering about the D-Heart ban though. Fjarlar takes up Lunasecond, banning Claret and Stell. It's possible Fjarlar Rachel is the mercenary. So the Bozo and Yusuke gets banned. Yusuke not really strong versus the Landius, but he is part protagonist, which is Fjarlar's primary faction here. We might see the Matthew picked up for the protagonist faction buff. So Triskit here going for the Zerda second. Now she can follow up with any of these other meteor units like Omega, Ye, Joshua. All of them are actually quite good on this map. I would assume they are. Triskit probably using that Omega as the mercenary, and Fjarlar have either the Bozo or the Rachel here as the mercenary. So Fjarlar does go with this Matthew. So far, 2 flares. Both can easily get sniped out by any of the assassins picked up from Triskit's side. And there's not a whole lot of AoE damage just quite yet. Matthew's sword dance is kind of short-ranged. Juggler can only jump in, do some damage. It's never going to be not that lethal unless you follow up with more AoEs here.
Okay, this Leonhard pick is going to, I think it better go with the detect, so there's a chance Leonhard might just kill Zerda.
So Leonhard does get picked up. We might see the faction buff from Juggler here. Not actually running any healers. Triskit's side though have many options left up. Just picking up more assassins against all these AoE rush team. Oh. These are quite unexpected. Both of them are very strong on this map. I mean, Omega is slightly less so, but very strong versus all the units on Fjarlar's side.
Now, Triskit must be very careful not to let Iris get killed, because if Leonhard kills Iris, then the game is pretty much over. Because there's no way you're gonna survive without a healer. Survive 2 AoEs without a healer. Like Lambda plus the Juggler. Meteor units might recover some HP after the action, but that's pretty much it. And it's not even close to enough against the AoE units.
Yeah, so it's really going to be how Fjarlar can snipe off this Iris and how Triskit can keep the Iris alive here. Having all these assassins means they can be quite a threat to all these AoE units. Just trading 1 for 1 is going to be quite favorable. But it doesn't look like Triskit is going to bring anyone that can kill the Juggler here. Since the Hiei is looking like he might run backstab.
He might bring Shinobi against Leonhard, because if Leonhard teleports on Fortress, the only chance killing that is teleport your Hiei and backstab with Shinobi So you're gonna deal most damage by fixed damage.
Alright, so the Hiei is not going to use the heal reversal skill. There really isn't any way to kill the juggler on Fjarlar side. You can whittle it down over maybe 4 or 5 attacks, but that's going to be a lot of actions. For Fjarlar's, Leonhard is using the stun skill. If that stun lands on some key units like Iris, that could be game winning. Matthew does have sprint as well, along with the Luna aura, so everyone can just stay quite far out of range and engage from halfway across the map.
You don't have to open the guard because you're in turn 2, turn 3, in turn 4 you'll be out of guard. Well, but I mean you can jump this the second turn, so it's fine. But I mean there's no point using guard here.
Alright, so since Fjarlar did give Triskit this Iris, you have to be wary of what the Iris can do here, like teleporting either Joshua or teleporting the Hiei forward. Hiei can snipe off some units using that backstab. This Joshua does have all these terrain to ninjutsu on, so the AoE could maybe one-shot some units. So depending on what Triskit moves here, that's going to determine what units get teleported here. I would probably just faction buff first. See what's happening. So faction buff does get used first, and now either the Joshua or the Hiei can get teleported forward.
If that is, I mean, if the entire brought detect, then he can choose to kill. He can kill one of his choice.
So Fjarlar was thinking about the teleport.
Interesting. I mean, this is probably his best chance killing one of the unit. I mean, the best winning chance that he just wasted.
Yeah, not taking advantage of that player 1's turn priority. Now giving up the ability to let your opponent's Zerda also zone you out. Doesn't look that good here. Alright, we see the sprint here. So it's kind of confusing to me here as well, since Leonhard is not in position to engage. And sprint is used, so everyone except the Leonhard is going to be able to engage. Might be thinking about just using the teleport first, next turn. Then trying to protect and use the Leonhard as a bait. So Triskit here is not going to teleport anyone forward here either. Just waiting this out. So I don't think there's really any reason to use the Luna Wind God Realm aura. Not really in a position to engage, but he might be thinking about it. Alright, it is going to happen here, but the Leonhard positioned in quite an awkward spot.
Juggler can't really jump because there's no follow-up. Oh, he's that. Oh, I don't think Leonhard can reach anyone. If Leonhard teleports on a fortress, then the game might be the other way around. And if Juggler jumps, Iris can no. Jumping is very bad decision here because Iris can teleport.
Alright, the game is pretty much over here. There is no follow-up, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's just not enough units to. There's just not enough follow-up. Oh, she decided not to.
Now nobody
Not
can
heal?
do much to this juggler here, so the Zerda and the Joshua are kind of locked down here. Now the Hiei can still move around.
I think Lambda. I think he lost his Lambda. Lambda will get killed by Hiei, but Hiei might.
If Joshua decides to use the...
Killing Lambda is not solving the problem here.
Joshua can move again using the Phantom Raid here.
That last kill is very bad decision. He should teleport the. He should teleport the assassin out. He should teleport the Zerida out, because Joshua can still do the AOE when sitting still. Teleport the Zerida out will definitely have more threat. It will create threats on two flyers. If those two flyers won't be able to do whatever they want. Remember, next turn Juggler has another AoE. Okay, here the Iris buff. Iris buff is critical. So if you really want, you could try to sword dance that Zerida. But I think Zerida can counter kill that duplication. Or sword dance that Joshua. It's just no follow-ups.
So right now this Luna can't do anything, the Leonhard have to teleport.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can sword dance the Joshua. So Joshua.
Alright. So Luna here can't really do much here. The Leonhard have to teleport. If the Hiei brought the heal reversal skill, he could the Hiei could kill the juggler here, but right now can't do much against that juggler. Instead of using mass heal, the Iris could have used teleport on either of the two stuck units, Zarda or Joshua, and just heal back up using Iris Talent and the Meteor faction buff. So here the Joshua does get hit, but she can, or this Joshua can use Phantom Raid and move away. Although it doesn't do much since it's still gonna die to this juggler here. I think if Triskit just teleported either the Zelda or the Joshua forward, make them a threat, make Fjarlar be unable to jump in, that would have been really good. And again, if he had just brought the right skills to kill this juggler, she wouldn't have had such a hard time dealing with this juggler here. So Zelda can't really attack anyone, and is kind of forced to end turn. Okay, so the he is kind of stuck here. You know, the Hiei could have actually attacked on the forest tile rather than being stuck right here. That would at least gave the bandits slightly more damage. This is quite unfortunate, since the juggler was unable to heal the Leonhard back to full, but the troops are full health, so this is actually worse than using backstab or just hitting Leonhard only with that AoE damage. So the Hiei attack is most definitely not gonna do any damage to this Leonhard. Maybe if the damage dealt reduction gets dispelled. I don't really see the damage happening here. Oh, the Leonhard does not have a defense buff, so it's actually quite squishy at 460 defense. And not good enough. So Leonhards usually we see having maybe 600 defense, but this Leonhard actually should have teleported onto the forest tile, so he's by himself to get the additional stats. Being beside Matthew means he lost a bunch of free stats on this Leonhard. What I don't see a lot of people making use of is the Iris talent. Your talent can help heal your team in AoE situations where you don't really need to use mass heal. Alright, so the Hie is still stuck here. Could attack into the Leonhardt. Attack twice. Possibly killing Leonhardt. Bunch of this stick at dispelled though. Still have that damaged up. 20% attack. Might be able to do something with that. Defense down. Triggers backstab. So the first attack is good enough. Not act again. Alright, so Fjarlar takes this game. Nobody could actually do anything to that juggler after it jumped in, even though there was really not that much good follow-up. And the misplay using that Hie was unable to get the kill on Leonhardt. Leonhardt was able to go in there and dispel a whole bunch of buffs, like Ire's Talent, Meteor, Action buff. Team can't really heal when they're beside the Landius. Alright, we see this Ashran placed in the box. Ashram can be decent when paired with Bozo, any sort of attack buff, or the Yusuke. I was able to play around with an Ashram last week. It's quite strong. When you're facing assassins, they can't really take out Ashram that easily. So Triskit thinking very hard about the first ban. Do you first ban the Landias and give them Juggler again? Or do you first ban the Juggler because they're an AoE team? Decisions. Actually spending a lot of time thinking about this first ban. And it's going to be Ares. Well, it'll be interesting to see what unit Fjarlar picks up first here. Juggler or Landius? And it's going to be the Landius. It's just going to be very strong against all the assassins, assuming his units can actually survive them. Okay, we see a Yusuke second pick. This is quite early. But it does faction buff for a bunch of units like D-Lit, Ashram, Joshua Hiei. It's not really that great against the Landias, unless they don't have any ways of stopping the anti-heals. Then again, you're still going to be spending a number of turns just punching that Landias. So Fjarlar takes the Rachel second. Rachel can Gospel for the Landias. Also still being decent at AoE damage. Yusuke is also very strong against AoE damage. Once your other allies dies, Yusuke is just going to get healed back up. So you really want to deal with Yusuke kind of early on. Like it's picked up here, which can actually heal and dispel the team decently well. I think that's pretty good choice here. And I would have likely given Triskit the Joshua here. Joshua is okay on this map. There are 4 tiles where he's going to get the most damage out of having the Jutsu. And Fjarlar goes with a third pick Weiler here. So he's playing more of a tank push game this time rather than going with AoE strategy like we have seen from last game. Yeah, so these units on Triskit side, they do decent damage, but depending on how good that Weiler is, that Weiler could stop you for a few turns. So there's a lot of different ways Fjarlar can play out this game. Going for a last pick Yusuke. I was gonna say if he picks up the Lean Heart, could use the Lean Heart dispels, as well as the meta dispels and debuffs to try to outstat your opponent. Instead, the Yusuke is going to force a either Gospel or Shield on Triskit's side. So right now I don't see any Gospels or Shields on Triskit's units here. Instead of Gospel, going for Accelerated Aid. Yep, Triskit is thinking about it, thinking about bringing shield, and decides to go with the gospel plan. I think gospel is definitely a better choice here, since there are quite a lot of debuffs coming out from Almeda. And depending on what Rachel brings, that is also potentially more debuffs that you can just completely ignore. Alright, so this Rachel seems to be its own, but it does not have the 3C here. Yeah, I think I would like to see a 3C on that Rachel. If he's sure that either the Landius doesn't have a bracer, or if Yusuke doesn't have a bracer, that fixed damage can be quite helpful. Okay, so we see a shield coming from this Almeda as well. She also have a regular heal. Kind of unexpected. I was expecting more AoE damage coming from this Almeda. Instead, she's using Force Priests, heal, and shield. Trying to support the units, trying to heal the team. He also does have that Wyler and the Rachel to help heal back the team as well. We shouldn't be seeing any sort of major action happening turn 1. Both players seems pretty safe here. I don't really see any sort of teleport plays coming out. Just be end turn. Alright, this Ashram is looking very scary. 1607 attack. AoE, Dragon Breath, do a lot of damage. Alright, so it's just going to be moving forward, both their tanks, setting up the use case, setting up some shields and gospels, and just brawl it out, see who comes out on top after the dust is settled. I don't really see who have a advantage here, but I'd probably bet on Fjarlar here. this Almeda can get close enough and still be safe, apply some debuffs, rip some buffs off, possibly clock that 3C skill, or is it just a 2-cost skill? That's just a 2-cost skill. Yeah, just clock that ultimate clip, and then the tide will change quite favorably. Going to trigger act again, just to possibly reduce the cooldown. Gospel. Oh, actually going to use this as well, using Sea of Miracles. Decides to hold on to it. Alright, the Rachel is moving forward. Alright, that's a +3 mobility on Yusuke. Probably doesn't matter all that much. So Ashram is ready to use the Dragon Breath or any sort of attacks. The teleport is kind of strange because the Ashram only moved 3 blocks instead of 5, which means he receives about 8% less attack. But well, that's your only AoE damage. Now you can use Warrior 3C, maybe just a Rachel Arcane Blast. That would heal up the team. I should probably look to open with a Wilder 3C first. Instead, going for the Scythe on Ashram. Okay, so the Wilder 3C should really be used at some point now. Getting ran by Landius. Yusuke can possibly one-shot the Landius. Now the Landius is looking okay-ish, unless the Wilder 3C is unable to heal the Royal Cavalry above 80%. And the punch can still do a ton of damage. Alright, after all those actions, Landius can either look to end the turn, or just ram into Ashram. Instead going for a normal attack onto Ashram, just kills the Ashram, or at least his first life. Now the Ashram can't really be saved here. Landius can just ram into the Ashram for the second life. So, from this match so far, Triskit's teleport on the ashram doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I was expecting more, I guess. And this Yusuke didn't even attack. So there's two things you can do, either test out your Yusuke damage, or you can just disengage with the entire team. But he is like, or Triskit is just engaging with the team, not really doing anything, and trying to wait out these 2 turns on that Wahoo 3C. So the team just gets dispelled. Walked right into that one. There's the ultimate quip, dispelling a whole bunch of buffs, also applying debuffs to the team. Alright, so Ashram goes down, the Yusuke enraged. Attack is looking very good. With Mimir Hammer, maybe can one-shot the Landius, but it's looking still quite difficult. There's still 1 turn of the Fjarlar buff left. Just wait that out. I don't really see anything happening here otherwise. If Triskit's Landius does anything other than receive Gospel, he could get punched by Yusuke. Yep, here's the refreshing of the Gospel. Acting again, but she does not have an attack buff. Could be attacking into Landius anyways, just to put your whole team into forests. Wouldn't accomplish a whole lot here. Triskit is thinking about attacking into the enemy Wahoo that is standing on the forest. Decides to not to. Is she going to realize that the Rachel is not on forest? Alright, decides to go with neither of those attack plans and just end the turn. So Wahoo 3C already buying 2 actions. An end turn from Yusuke, and another end turn from this Diglett. Alright, so the Rachel makes an attack. Damage is pretty good. Going to be quite difficult to heal up the Landius. Another +3 mobility. But the Landius here should still be above 80%, so you could just ram with Landius, or Fjarlar could just start punching with this Yusuke. Alright, this is an attack on city walls. Not sure why Fjarlar decided to melee punch the Yusuke on the walls. I think probably would have dealt more damage, just range attacking. You do 15% less damage, but you also have 30% less defense. Landius Aura reduces range damage taken by 15%. It's 15% better than 30% defense. Could have also just ended the turn with the all meta here, applying more debuffs. Actually, Landius is immune to all debuffs. Right. Apply the debuffs to the other units. Seems good as well. Oh. Well, both sides are trying to punch with their Yusuke against the other's Landius, neither having much success. Definitely favoring Fjarlar though. There's a Rachel. I can eventually do some good enough magic damage, like with the Reaper. Going for the Arcane Blast. Clocks. Alright, the Arcane Blast is looking pretty good. And the Wilder 3C is about to be done here. Yeah, to break these tank pushes, you just need more damage. Arcane Blast a couple of times. Your opponent can only use mass heal once every 2 turns. Oh, more debuffs. Seems good. Silence is Landius, so it's definitely not Embracer. This could be an attack onto the opponent's Landius, but it would likely kill the Deedlit on counter. He's probably just looking to end the turn here. Right now, Triskit does have control of the middle here, so in 2-3 turns more, Fjarlar's going to be stuck in the fog here, so you really have to make something happen. Ooh. So Landius loses first life, cost of the Yusuke. Second life is also looking like it's gonna go down here once the other Landius rams into them. So this Yusuke is thinking about making an attack as well and triggers Thorns. While this Yusuke is unable to get the kill, so... well... we can see who have the better Landius here. And Triskit just concede the other second game as well. So, Fjarlar takes this game 2-0. Ooh, didn't expect that coming. Or, who did expect this coming? That's all the games we have here for tonight. At least I think that's all the games that's gonna happen here. Alright, thanks for all the viewers for watching here. Now we're going to continue tomorrow. I will be playing against Sandy Harry at 5 p.m. PST. So that's 2 hours before the second JB time. Or the old JB time. Alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow.